welcome to the Cloud Storage Security Okta SSO integration demo. What we'll be doing today is a step-by-step walkthrough of our documentation here. So the setup that I have today is I will have this documentation on the left here. On the right, I will have all the pieces necessary in order to set this integration up. We'll be walking through this step by step, and if you want to follow along, the pieces that you need are the documentation, which I'll throw in a link in the description, a deployment of our Cloud Storage Security Console. You'll need access to the Cognito user pool that our CSS stack spun up for you, and you'll need access to Okta. So with those three pieces, you're pretty much good to go. One quick thing before we start, if you note here in the sign-in page, all we have are username and password. Those are the only options we have to sign in. Later on, we will have an SSO integration button here. That will be one of the checks that we do to make sure that we're on the right track. All right, without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first thing that we need to do is copy the user pool ID. It's under Overview. As soon as you land into the user pool, you should see this here. So copy this and put it to the side. The second thing we'll need to do is head over to Domain, and we're going to create a Cognito domain. So select Actions and create Cognito domain. Name this whatever you would like. I'm going to name this JL-Okta. As long as this domain is available, you're welcome to use whatever name you would like. You can leave managed login as is and select create Cognito domain. Now that this domain has been created, I would like you to copy this domain value and put it to the side. We're going to be also needing that in just a second here. So head over to Okta. We are going to select Applications. And once we've done that, there's a Create App Integration button. Please select that. And for your sign-in method, select SAML 2.0. For the general settings, use an app name of your choice. I'm going to name mine JL-Okta-Demo. Select Next. And we're going to configure three pieces here on the Configure SAML page. The single sign-in URL, the audience URI, and the attribute statements. So for the single sign-on URL, the first thing we're going to need is that domain name from earlier. So again, it's in your Cognito domain. Under this section, copy to your clipboard, paste this in here, and we are going to add /SAML2/IDP response. So I'm going to add that now, /2/IDP response. For our audience URI, we're going to add this prefix first, URN Amazon Cognito SP. And then earlier I asked you to save your user pool ID. If you don't have that on you, go back to the Cognito user pool page, select Overview, copy this user pool ID, and paste it over here. The third thing we need, under attribute statements, you need to grab this value from our help docs, copy that, paste it in the name, and then in the value, just enter in user.email. Okay. Now that you have those three pieces configured, you're good to click Next. Okta is going to ask you for feedback. You don't have to give feedback. You can also choose to give feedback if you would like. In either case, select Finish. We're going to head over to the Assignments page. Select Assign and assign to people. I only have one user in Okta currently, but select the user that you would like. Select Assign, and with the username, select Save and go back. Once this user is assigned, you can click Done. And we are going to head over to the Sign On tab in Okta. there's going to be a SAML 2.0 box under sign-in methods. What you want to do is copy the metadata URL, place that to the side. We're going to be needing that in just a second. Now that you have that, let's head over to Okta. Let's head over to Cognito, and we are going to select the user pool and find the social and external providers section. Click that, click Add Identity Provider, and then we click SAML. Under the provider name here, we do need to enter in Okta, so please do that. And then the other piece we need to modify here is the metadata document source section. Click Enter Metadata Document Endpoint URL. If I were you, I would remove this HTTPS. And if you remember earlier, we grabbed the metadata URL, copy that, and paste it in here. These are the only two pieces we need. Click Add Identity Provider. Now that you have this identity provider, click into Okta, and we're going to look for this attribute mapping section. You see that'll be right here. If we click Edit, add another attribute. What we need now is to look for the email attribute, select that, and then for the SAML attribute, copy this from our help docs and paste it in. Select Save Changes. Now it's still incognito. We're going to head over to App Clients under Applications. Select that and click into your user pool. In here, there will be a Login Pages section. Click that and click Edit. So, a couple of things we need to fill out on this page. We need to add a callback URL. That will be our console URL. So if you go to your CSS console here, copy everything, assuming you're on the login page, copy everything up until account and paste that in. It should look something like this. You can, under the allowed sign out URL section, you can click add sign out URL, and you actually want to paste in the exact same thing. These two values will be the same. Under identity providers, select Okta and Cognito user pool. Under OAuth 2.0 grant types, select implicit grant. Under OpenID Connect scopes, select first OpenID, which will unlock the option to select email. So you want both of those. Okay, now that you have these values, you'll want to save the changes. And at this point, we'll want to do a sanity check here, refresh our console page, and see if that SSO page has popped up, that SSO button. So let's go to the console, hit refresh, and if you will see here, we do have the sign in with Okta page open now. So what does this mean for us? That means we're able to sign in with Okta after we configure a couple more things. So the first time that we click this button, we'll be creating a user incognito, but that user will have no permissions attached to it. It'll be a default user level of user, and it'll be assigned to no groups. So what we'll have to do is sign in as an admin user and give that user permissions to access our console. So let's do that now. We're going to click the sign in with Okta button. That'll create a user. So this page will refresh. Not to worry, this is expected. Now what we would like to do is sign in with an admin user and then modify those permissions so that that Okta user can have permissions to access the console. So you'll need to grab credentials for a user that you have already created in this account that has access permissions. Admin permissions. I will do that. Sign in. Once I'm into the console, I'm going to select Access Management and head over to Manage Users. You'll see here that in addition to my admin user, we have an Okta user. Notice that it's assigned to no groups. So the primary group is the group that oversees everything, and we'll need to at least assign it to that in order to use this user. So what I'll do is I'll full screen, select the three buttons here, and click Change Groups. Once I select that, I'll choose the primary group and assign the groups. All right, so that is good to go. If you want to change your access level here, you can also do that. I'll just demonstrate. Click the three buttons, select Change Role. We'll select Admin, change the role, and that has been done. So let's test this SSO integration out. At this point, you're basically good to go, but we'll verify. So what I will do is sign out. And select Sign in with Okta. Okay, we're good to go. You're now signed in with Okta. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.